Hollywood doesn't collapse loudly, it collapses in whispers. For years, rumors circled quietly, moments people ignored, clips people laughed off, stories dismissed as too crazy to be real, until suddenly, federal pressure entered the conversation. Now, as Sean Diddy Combs faces mounting legal trouble, names once protected by fame are being re-examined, and one of those names keeps resurfacing. Jada Pinkett Smith. Not because of one accusation, not because of one interview, but because of patterns, connections, silence, and proximity to power. Tonight, we're not declaring guilt. We're asking the question Hollywood avoids. What happens when influence, protection, and secrecy collide? And the spotlight finally turns. When Hollywood stops protecting its own, the domino effect no one expected. When Sean Diddy Combs became the focus of intense legal scrutiny, the industry reacted in a familiar way at first. Silence. No statements, no distancing, no outrage. But silence only works until it doesn't. Because when one powerful figure falls under investigation, the question is never just what did he do? It's who was around him when it happened. Who shared rooms? Who shared secrets? Who benefited from the same protection? That's when old footage starts feeling uncomfortable. Old interviews stop sounding innocent, and old friendships begin to look closer than anyone remembered. And that's how Jada's name quietly re-entered the conversation. Why people are talking now. Let's be clear before we go any further. There are no confirmed charges against Jada Pinkett Smith. There is no public FBI case with her name on it. What exists instead is something far more dangerous in the age of social media. Speculation mixed with memory. Jada and Will Smith weren't outsiders in Hollywood. They weren't guests. They were fixtures. They moved through elite circles where influence mattered more than fame, and discretion mattered more than talent. The same circles Diddy occupied for decades. That doesn't prove wrongdoing, but it explains why questions are being asked now instead of dismissed. Because timing changes everything. Moments that hit different in retrospect. There are scenes the internet has replayed endlessly. Interviews where Jada speaks about relationships with unsettling calm. Red Table Talk episodes where deeply personal family moments became content. Public conversations that blurred lines most people didn't even know existed. At the time, it was called honesty. Now some viewers see something else. Control, narrative management, power dynamics hiding behind vulnerability, especially after Jada revealed that she and Will had been separated since 2016. That revelation alone forced millions to reevaluate everything they thought they knew about that family. The open marriage that rewrote the story. When Jada confirmed the long separation, it wasn't just gossip, it was a reset. Suddenly, moments like the Oscar slap weren't just about defending honor. They were about pressure, image, unspoken dynamics happening off camera. The public realized something uncomfortable. They weren't watching a marriage, they were watching a performance. And performances hide things. Red Table Talk and the cost of transparency. Red Table Talk was revolutionary at first. Raw conversations, no filters, no scripts. But over time, critics began asking a difficult question. When does transparency turn into exposure? Family trauma became episodes. Personal struggles became engagement. Boundaries became optional. Some viewers applauded it. Others felt uneasy, especially when conversations involved children, psychedelics, and alternative belief systems presented as healing without guardrails. Again, none of this is illegal, but legality isn't the only line that matters. Culture notices when lines move. What felt brave to some felt invasive to others. Moments meant for healing began living forever online. The line between sharing and shaping a narrative slowly blurred. Vulnerability turned into currency, measured in views and applause. And once an audience is invited into private pain, it's hard to ask them to leave. Jaden and the question. No one likes asking Jaden Smith's public push for independence raised eyebrows long before rumors did. Legally distancing himself from his parents was framed as growth, and maybe it was. But in an industry where child stars often escape environments the public never fully sees, curiosity followed naturally. Was it rebellion or relief? There are no court documents proving abuse, no verified claims, but perception doesn't wait for paperwork. When allegations refuse to disappear, one of the most controversial figures in this entire conversation is Bilal, a former associate of Will Smith. His allegations were shocking, explicit, disturbing. They were never proven in court, but they also weren't aggressively challenged in public. And in Hollywood, silence can mean many things. Sometimes it means lies aren't worth acknowledging. Sometimes it means lawyers advised everyone to stay quiet. And sometimes it means no one wants discovery. That ambiguity became fuel. Why Diddy's legal trouble changed changed everything for years. People said the same thing. If this were true, someone would have been exposed by now. But power doesn't erase truth. It delays it. As Diddy's situation escalated, insiders hinted at NDAs, recordings, leverage, and quiet settlements that kept entire networks protected. And when protection weakens, fear spreads. Because if one secret comes out, others follow. The rumor that shook Hollywood when Gene Deal suggested that a tape existed involving Diddy and another A-list male celebrity, it wasn't the claim itself that caused panic. It was the implication. If a tape exists, who's on it? Who knows about it? Who's been protected by its silence? No tape has been verified. No names confirmed. But rumors don't need proof to do damage. They only need possibility. Why Jaguar Wright won't go away. Jaguar Wright is often dismissed as unstable, bitter, or extreme, but history complicates that dismissal. She has been wrong before. She has also been disturbingly right, enough times that people listen now instead of laughing. Her commentary about Hollywood's hidden culture, exploitation, and silence has resurfaced alongside everything else, not as evidence, but as context. And context matters when patterns repeat. Power, not innocence, is the real issue. This story isn't about proving guilt, it's about power. Who has it, who protects it, and who loses it when attention shifts. Jada Pinkett Smith isn't powerless. She's influential, articulate, connected. That makes her relevant when systems begin collapsing. Not because she's accused, but because she's close. Why this isn't a verdict? Nothing here is a conviction. There are no confirmed charges, no court rulings, no verified tapes. This is not justice playing out. This is culture reassessing itself, the same way it did with Weinstein, with R. Kelly, with Epstein. Before the truth, there's always discomfort. The question Hollywood can't escape. The real question isn't whether Jada did something wrong. It's whether Hollywood knew things it chose not to confront. Because when systems fall, they don't just take down villains, they expose enablers, and silence becomes a character in the story. The moment everything changes. Jada built a career on truth-telling. Now, truth is circling her whether she invited it or not. This doesn't mean downfall. It doesn't mean exposure. It means scrutiny. And scrutiny is the one thing Hollywood fears more than scandal, because scrutiny doesn't forget. The spotlight never stops moving. Hollywood is entering a new era, an era where fame no longer guarantees protection, where silence is suspicious, and where stories don't stay buried forever. Whether this moment fades or becomes something larger remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the spotlight has turned, and once it does, it rarely turns back. So the real question is this: do you think Hollywood is finally being forced to face itself, or is this just another cycle of rumors and distractions? Let me know what you think, because this story is far from over. Do you believe the industry is finally being forced to tell the truth, or is this another witch hunt fueled by rumors? Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay alert, because this story is far from over.